Welcome to Oddball History, dipshits.
All right, so this week on Oddball History, we are doing the... Hello.
Hi.
Yeah, Lawrence just filmed a
Hi,
special.
everyone.
Hello.
I didn't sleep much the past 48 hours, so we're here. And we're doing the Black Sox Scandal.
There's a scandal?
There's a scandal.
Oh, I fucking...
I was trying to still do the high bit. Fuck. I went to the well one too many times.
Boy, I do that every night.
1919 Black Sox Scandal. It was a scandalous time in baseball. We had just got done with World War I, and we were like, we're ready to have a baseball scandal. That's where the country was at. You know, we want to tarnish the game a little. It'll be fun, and we've earned ourselves a little game tarnishing, frankly. The shit we saw in World War I. I'm just giving you a sense of where the country's mind was at.
That's when we started
that's
when we started making noir movies after World War I, because it was just dark times.
Dark times.
Dark times.
And so we were doing this one because it is World Series time. Let's go Rangers.
Go
Rangers.
So this will be out. It'll be over when this comes out.
You know what I've hated about the World Series?
We timed it great.
Is that I like to hang out in empty bars. I like my bar a little decrepit, a little, the chair squeaks a little
dank,
bit.
yeah.
And I like
dank pit.
Yeah, and I like to have some elbow room for my sadness.
Yeah.
And lately, you walk into a bar and all the chairs are taken, and you're like, this is not
Everyone's
why I
having
come
a
to
fun
this
thing
shit.
for our city doing well.
Yeah, everybody's cheering, and I'm like, this is not what I'm here for.
DFW is caught in the grips of baseball fever.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's cool to see, but I will say, where the fuck was all this enthusiasm when I was playing mid-level Division III college baseball just over in Irving?
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't go to the playoffs or anything, but still, it was
Not even a slight rise in temperature.
Maybe if the whole city was cheering you
baseball.
on.
Not all quality, but mostly pretty quality baseball.
What school
And
did you
need
play
I
for?
remind you again that had a plane gone down containing all the major leaguers and minor leaguers and independent players and Division I and II players,
And most of the Japanese baseball league.
I would have been playing on you guys' TVs, you know? And probably the plane would have also had to contain some of the better Division III guys as well. But then I would have been on your TVs.
It's a pretty big plane.
Provided the TV crews weren't also on the giant, ill-fated plane.
They're taking buses.
The games are very long.
They're actually
They're shorter than ever.
Yeah.
They have a
they're
pitch
still
clock
they're
now.
still very long.
Yeah,
It takes
there's
a long time.
there's a lot of pitching changes and there's a lot of gamesmanship. Like the Diamondbacks will pinch hit right before the inning, so Bochy's like, well, I'm not just gonna not hold up the game, you know.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck that, I'm gonna get my pitcher in. And so there's been a couple of those where we like come back from the commercial and Bochy's coming out. It's like,
Oh, God.
I trust him with my life, but fuck, it's
But yeah, the Rangers are whooping some ass, though.
The Rangers
They're
are doing
doing
well.
great.
And I do enjoy, baseball. It's weird because you're getting all these beefcakes. You're getting all these beefcakes.
Lots of beefcakes.
Lots of
Lots
beefcakes.
of non-beef cakes, which is a thing I think is good about baseball.
No, it helps you feel better
You
about
get
yourself.
some of the Rangers relief pitchers coming in and just looks like a fucking mechanic walking up there. I'm here for it.
You're talking about Will Smith completely. The rest are most baseball players even now are super athletes. Everyone works out 24. It's not like in what was that one-footed kicker's names?
Tom Dempsey.
Tom Dempsey.
Never forget Tom Dempsey.
Never. How could I forget that guy?
But so the Black Sox Scandal of 1919 essentially boils down to they were not paid a lot back in the day. Shoeless Joe Jackson, and I forgot one of his accomplices, were propositioned by a mobster at the time.
And it's now in debate whether for years it was that this go between Sport Sullivan, perhaps not working with Arnold Rothstein, one of the most famous gangsters in American history, and a founding father of organized crime as we know it today. Shout out Arnold Rothstein.
God bless
him. God bless him.
He's going to be on the podcast
next week.
So this guy, Sport Sullivan, very 1919 criminal name, Sport Sullivan. He approached Eddie Seacott and Chick Gandil from the White Sox, who I should note, it sounds like they got the name Black Sox because, the
tarnishing
the
of the White Sox.
But actually, it was because their owner, Charles Comiskey, was a cheap piece of shit. He was an old miserly bastard. He was like...
God, I love miser.
He was kind of like a Mr. Potter from It's a Wonderful Life.
Okay.
He was a lot... If he owned a baseball team...
Curmudgeon.
That's who we're dealing with here. And he made the players, like this Potter-ass move, he made the players pay for their own laundry. So the players were like, well, I'm not going to pay for the laundry. Like, fuck that. And so they got their uniforms got really dirty. So they started calling them the Black Sox from the grime on their normally white socks.
Okay, good.
Were black players allowed to play at this time?
No, this was decades before.
Okay, what a double hit! What a double hit!
Well, that kind of comes into play later. We get a racist commissioner in the story later. Actually, the first commissioner of baseball, who the game was integrated 3 years after his death. He's the guy that comes in at the end, but we're not there yet. Right now, so just to set the stage, like Charles Comiskey, he was a real Mr. Potter ass piece of shit. He one time he promised a guy would have got Eddie Seacott actually would have got a bonus, like it was a really big bonus at the time if he won 30 games, and then Comiskey basically had him benched for his last start and was like, yeah,
29 games.
29. That's too bad that we got to rest you for the playoffs, for the World Series.
Yeah.
And so he wouldn't give it to him. Another time he promised all the guys that they would get actually in the lead up when they won the pennant in 1919, he promised them a bonus, and the bonus was a case of flat champagne. Now, this is a man you should fuck over, definitely, you know?
It really reminds me of like I do Uber on the weekends. Mm-hmm. And they do Quest, and it's always you get to the last one and you just get like 3 cancellations, and you're like, I feel like whoever's running Uber is
I've never heard of Quest. Is that like
what is Quest?
To gamify the drivers?
Yeah, it's like if you do a certain amount of you have to pick your quest before the weekend, and then when the weekend rolls around, starting on Friday morning, you have till Sunday at 4 a.m. to complete this quest.
Did we just discover that Charles Comiskey owns Uber?
I think he is
that sly
running
son
Uber.
Of a bitch.
Did you just watch?
How is he doing it from beyond the grave? This has just become an investigative podcast.
I think we have things to figure out here.
Comiskey operating from beyond the grave tonight on Chasing Comiskey.
How are there so many ghost TV shows? Not finding ghosts. There's a new one every 6 weeks.
No,
Jack Osborne's in the space now.
They're running one during the World Series where they're like, we're gonna bring this team in here, and then at one point it cuts to a guy. He's like, we're messing with things we shouldn't be messing with. I gotta get these people out of here. And it's like, it's a goat. Like, I don't know. People, I guess young people like it.
That was Scooby-Doo.
Oh, god damn it. That was Scooby-Doo.
You're thinking of Scooby-Doo.
God damn it.
But so to get to they end up
ghost
fixing
shows.
the World Series.
I truly do. They're so stupid. I talked to you about this one of the weeks. Lawrence was absent. Actually, I love the ghost hunting because I love like bullshit. And
Scott's been ghost hunting a few times.
I went ghost hunting, and like the whole bit is like saying names expectantly, and it's really fun. Of dead people, like Charles Comiskey.
I felt something.
You scared of me, Charles?
What was that? What was that?
I felt $1 fall out of my pocket.
I think the ghost of Charles Comiskey might be eating dog food from Jimmy's Dog's bowl over there. If I'm not mistaken from that sound.
I can hear it.
I think the podcast is going in some cool new directions.
We're just going to be ghost hunters in 6 months.
All right,
they fixed the World Series so gamblers will win.
Yeah. So
is the scandal.
Okay. So it's like taking a dive in boxing.
So
yes, exactly.
They've orchestrated a dive.
We're 10 minutes in. We got
baseball.
We're there. They cheated. They cheated.
Yes.
They the White Sox, they got a little conspiracy going where 8 guys would participate, and they were mostly key players. With like a couple exceptions, But so they could drop the World Series, essentially, and they did. They lost in 8 games, I believe it was, because this was when the World Series was best of 9, which of all the fucked up things about the world in 1919, that might unnerve me the most.
That's a lot of baseball.
9-game World Series. What the... You know?
It's a lot of baseball.
There wasn't much to watch on TV. You know what I mean? You had to have some form of entertainment.
That is true. You did...
Think about how boring. Think about how fucking boring baseball is, and it was like our favorite pastime because it just killed time. It just took a long time.
Well, and
it was something you could go do, and you could eat a hot dog, and it would just take a long time.
That is very true.
Yeah,
let's go burn a day.
Yeah, people ask me like I don't even love NFL football that much, but like there's 7 days in a week. I don't need them all.
Yeah,
you know I can.
You can have Sunday.
You can have Sunday.
Should we toil endlessly? No, let's go take in a game. Go watch some baseball.
Should we toil endlessly? No, let's just go to a fucking baseball game. You know what I mean? And nobody better fucking cheat or have it fixed. I can tell you that much. I'm gonna be real fucking pissed off.
Yeah,
I do like there was a little thread of like, was Shoeless Joe Jackson in on it?
Oh yeah, it's hotly debated to this day.
Or was he so dumb that he was tricked into it? They did pick on him that like he wasn't a literate man, and they were like,
he got $5,000 for it.
Yeah.
But he also mashed in the World Series. I feel like that was a big part of his defense. He was like, I was dropping dick. Did you see me even one game? I was on those I was raking. You know? They didn't have the term raking back then, I bet.
God, it would have crushed, though. If you could go back with, like, terminology now, you know, you just walk in, you're like, I love that fit. You're fucking raking. And everybody's like, this is the coolest fucking guy ever.
Charges dismissed. That was the coolest thing we've ever heard.
Wow, those pitchers really
Holy
slapped.
shit.
That slapped.
Boys be knocking.
So how did they find out that they were doing this?
So, okay.
Who fucked it up? Who fucked it up for everybody?
Yeah, it stayed a secret for like about a year. It was late in the 1920 season that it came out.
This is much like the Astros, right? The Astros?
It did. The timing especially, yeah, it is kind of like, because I do think the timing was similar. So, yeah. And so the baseball, when they find out about it, baseball brings in their first commissioner in 1921. He replaces a thing called like the National Commission or some shit like that. Which
a group of shadowy figures in a smoke-filled boardroom.
Well, nothing can go wrong in there.
Too,
if we want anything in America, nothing's going to happen.
We got to keep the blacks out.
That's what it was mostly. That's what it was about. And in fact, that's there was no like official rule that you couldn't integrate, but it was. They talk about a gentleman's agreement that was struck in the 1880s.
Oh, Jesus!
I defy you,
Phil. Come here, Phil.
Guys, start.
We'll edit this out.
Stop barking at the ghost of Charles Comiskey, who's now digging up his guy.
The ghost of Charles Comiskey left a package on my front doorstep. Okay, we all good? The Amazon guy's still outside, defying us.
I know I've had too much caffeine because like I jumped. I was like, oh shit! I was like,
is there an intruder? No.
Yeah, I felt the
monsters.
Charles Comiskey on my shoulders.
I liked that they called Charles Comiskey Commie. That's not a good nickname to have at that time, I feel.
Yeah.
Can't have people... I guess you can have it if you're a very wealthy guy, you know?
Baseball magnate.
Anyone else nicknamed Commie, I feel like you were beaten up like a few times a week.
So how did the new commissioner... Don't fuck with me when I'm trying to get back on track.
So the commissioner, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, a very interesting... No, he's not that interesting. I don't know why I said that.
That was the new commissioner?
The first commissioner of baseball, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, he was named by his dad, Kennesaw Mountain, because Kennesaw, the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain, was where he was horribly wounded in the Civil War, which I do not understand in the naming process. What shall we name the baby? You know where my mind goes is that time that my fucking leg was blown off by a cannonball.
Every time I say my son's name, I want to be reminded of that time I lost my leg.
Yeah. I have some of that energy in me. You know what I mean? Like about like, you know, let's go celebrate where something really bad happened. You know,
that's how Kennesaw Mountain Landis' dad felt.
Yeah.
So he
said it every time he came. You know, it is a weird thing. You know what I mean? Just whispers in her ear.
And the other they're like, Dad, you need something?
Never forget. You know, never forget.
And Kennesaw Mountain Landis. Okay, so he comes in. So he comes in. The thing to know about Kennesaw Mountain Landis, as you can imagine, for a man who is named after a horrible Civil War site where his dad personally was gravely, horribly injured.
Good.
He was a hard ass. He was a big time hard ass. He had a thing. His deal, how he had made his name before baseball, was treating like draft dodgers or deserters from World War I really harshly. Like he would throw them in prison and never, he would really just hammer them. And he got a real reputation for that. And then baseball's like, this is our guy.
This is our guy. You know what I mean? We got to tighten up after the scandal.
We need this hard ass. And they didn't say it like as sexually as I did, probably. But they said, we need this hard ass. Yeah, that's where the emphasis should have been.
We need this hard ass.
I do love how serious we take sports.
That's not the way. It's hard. Well, now I can only think.
Think of hard asses.
Hard ass. They're like, we need this hard ass to come in here. Was that better?
And round up these beefcakes. We need a hard ass to come in here and round up these beefcakes.
Yeah, hard
these
ass.
really beefcakes are fixing World Series games.
Yeah.
We've lost a lot of narrative on this one.
Yeah, like Scott studied too much about like the whole, like, Jimmy, you take over a little bit. What was the Black Sox Scandal? Because I don't know. I know there was a lot of old men and they had crazy names.
They needed a hard ass to
Scott will get in on
and clean up the beef cakes that were on the take.
All right. So that gangster essentially came in and he was like big in sports gambling, and they got a bunch of players to essentially throw the World Series.
Yeah, okay.
Because they were the heavy favorites.
There was 8 of them.
They picked
8
of them. That.
He did cover that, Jimmy. I need you to
tell me what the fucking commissioner did. They got 8 of them. We've heard his name 47 times.
So he comes in and he fucking bans them for life.
He comes in with his ass. He comes in just swinging it through the front door. Like, bam!
Bam!
He's like, hard ass.
I don't know if you guys have heard, but I got a real hard ass. And
we're starting there, and then we're working up.
I'm here to ban you guys for life. Interestingly, there was a criminal trial, all right, first, and the players were exonerated in the criminal trial, partly because I fucking love this part of the story. The signed confessions of I think it was Buck Weaver and Shoeless Joe Jackson and a bunch of
was he shoeless? Was he shoeless? I don't know anything.
We'll get back to that. It went missing, and so they're just like, oh well, I guess we can't convict him. We have no evidence anymore because it just disappeared.
They're gone.
And so they were exonerated.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, Chick Gandil, who is kind of like the ringleader of the whole deal. He had a real funny quote. Ban Johnson was the leader of like the commission that was before the
Kennesaw Mountain.
Before Kennesaw Mountain, and he said that'll learn old Ban Johnson to try to frame an honest bunch of ball players. He said this after they got exonerated, and then the new commissioner comes in and immediately bans them for life.
Yeah,
and so they're all gone. He's a hard ass. He maintains his hard ass.
The hardness of his ass.
The hardness of his ass is not in question with these actions, and the beefcakes know that now. The beefcakes know that. They learned the hard way about his hard ass.
The ass way.
And so these men were never allowed to play baseball again.
They were never allowed to play organized baseball. They would find out if they were playing, they would try to organize and play in other parks, just to make money in Chicago, and the commissioner would find out about it and be like, if you do that, we'll strip your... I don't know what he would do to these parks, really, if they weren't major league parks.
That there was busking for baseball.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So I'm just going to go play on the corner.
Yeah. They were like...
Nowadays, if somebody's like, you want to pay some money to see me hit a ball, I'd be like, nah, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
A little bit more about some of the Black Sox, too. The 8 men out. They made a movie about it.
8 men out.
Ray Liotta played Shoeless Joe Jackson, too, in Field of Dreams. There's lots of movies about today's subject. Shoeless Joe, he got his $5,000. Nobody really knows if he was involved in the fix, but he was by far the best player, as you can tell.
But
by
he got
him
5,000, but they don't know if he was involved in it.
I think they gave him
Well, the
5,000.
thing is-
He was confused and still played well.
Well, and there's a little
You know
gray
everybody's cheating
area.
when you're like, you knock
We
the ball
forgot
out of the
about-
park and you walk back and everybody's like, God damn it.
Come on, son of a
Come
bitch.
on, you
there's
son
a little gray area here too, because they had a meeting with the gamblers, and it's thought not everyone who attended the meeting ended up being part of the fix. So it's not known if he was just part of the meeting, and then his roommate who was in on the fix dropped a bag of $5,000 on his bed during the World Series.
You
which
just
is how
walk
he
through a
got it.
Chili's at the wrong time.
yeah.
Yep. And then there's Chick Gandil, that guy, the ringleader. Buck Weaver. Okay, Buck Weaver hit 324 in the World Series, but he was still banned because he knew about the fix and didn't snitch. Which is, I mean, come
That's
on,
still- it's kind
come
of
on,
a good
guys.
character.
I mean, what is there a hard ass in charge or something? And then interesting thing about Buck Weaver, he successfully sued Charles Comiskey for his 1921 salary. So Shoeless Joe Jackson tries to do the same thing. And Charles Comiskey is like, fuck no, Shoeless Joe. I'll tell you why. And then he produces the signed confession from Shoeless Joe that went missing. His lawyer just happened to have it years later in order not to pay Shoeless Joe his salary.
Just in case.
Which really, who knows what happened to those confessions back in that courthouse in 1921? You know,
I like
it's
a good-
crazy. I love how just if you're rich enough, like you can just do whatever the fuck. Like
oh, yeah,
Charles
they're gone.
Comiskey was like, I'm my lawyer, just steal the confetti. What are you talking about? Me get in trouble? Fuck out of here.
Guffaw.
You know,
The worst stadium in baseball's named after me, pal. Or it was when I was a kid. Now it's the
Comiskey
Oakland
Field.
Coliseum, I feel, by quite a lot. And then the Tampa one. All right. So, Eddie Seacott.
We were just watching Scott spiral.
Yeah. It's like I just imagine me at home and I'm like, I want to hear about the Black Sox Scandal. And I pull up Wikipedia.
Y'all fucking kill yourselves. Back in, seamless transition.
in.
No dogs barked. This is a professional operation.
This is a very professional operation. And
Eddie Seacott. Eddie Seacott. He was the first to come forward to admit and confess.
Scott, you
what
are
he
wearing
had
black
done.
socks right now, and it's making me look at you as a guilty person.
What? Yeah, they're. Do they remind you of the Fab Five?
Are you in
I
on the
always
take?
remind myself of the Fab Five.
Yeah.
When I wear these socks, I feel like a young Jalen Rose. Frankly, I feel that way all the time, but especially when I wear the black Nike socks, as made famous by Michigan's Fab Five. Coming up in a later episode, we haven't talked about that at all. Actually,
We'll do it.
Okay, hey, Eddie
There's not
Seacott,
been one name
first to
mentioned on
come
this
forward.
podcast, this
Hey,
episode, that I've had any recognition for at all.
No, you shouldn't. Why would you know? Aside from Shoeless Joe Jackson, none of these people are worth remembering. So let's continue with remembering them. All right, Eddie Seacott, we know him first to come forward, but he later recanted. Didn't matter. He was like, still a hard ass. You're still out.
Good.
And then Lefty Williams. Okay, this is my favorite. He was kind of maybe the MVP of the fix.
Yeah.
He went 0-3 with a 6.63 ERA in the World Series. Now,
Committed to the bit.
I read on Wikipedia, only one other pitcher in history has lost 3 World Series games. It was George Frazier from the Yankees in 1981. And I imagine like people trying
Not a
to
good
console
list.
him, like, oh, it's all right, man. There's a guy who lost 3 World Series games before, and he's like, oh yeah, who? And they're like, that's not important.
He was throwing the games for the mob.
He was throwing the games for the mob. Okay, and it was when the World Series was 9 games.
Yeah. You didn't do that bad, George. Come
But
on,
other
man.
than that,
Just hang in there, dude. You'll be all right.
You know,
You're
you'll
in the
be
league.
okay.
That's cool.
And then he walks off stage, and you hear a single gunshot, and thus ends
It would be
the tale
of George Frazier.
Thank you for remembering his name. I had already forgotten. That's how memorable these guys are. Okay, and then these 2 guys, they're not memorable at all, but they have funny names. One guy was their shortstop. His name was Swede Risberg.
Swede Risberg.
Pretty cool. And then this just sounds like a sex act. Center fielder Happy Felsch.
Happy Felsh.
That
All
does
right.
happy Felsh.
Went down to Tijuana and got a happy Felsh.
Half price on Tuesdays
And then,
for your Felshing.
so those are the 8 men out. And then, oh wait, no, Fred McMullen is the 8th. Fred McMullen would not. He was a utility infielder, not important to the team at all, and would not have been cut in on the deal. But he happened to overhear them talking about it and was like, "I better fucking be in on the deal." So he got cut in on the deal too, even though he didn't really do anything. They were like, he might have helped scout.
He was real
badly.
negative in the dugout.
His chatter was uninspired. And then there's this guy from the St. Louis Browns who was also part of it. He just knew about it because he was friends, I think, with Eddie Seacott, one of the guys. He was friends with him.
We're not going to correct
you, Scott. So he bet a shitload of money on the Reds, and then he tried to like snitch them out to Kennesaw Mountain Landis for more money. I think that was his deal. And he was like, hard ass, remember? Remember my ass is real hard? You're out too, buddy. And so everyone's out. Kennesaw Mountain Landis is, everyone's like, this guy is great and in no way problematic in our current worldview.
And everyone lived happily ever after.
Charles Comiskey, he died on the toilet. That's not true. He didn't die on the toilet, but his team sucked for the rest of his life. They were bad. They didn't compete for another pennant until like 1959. Didn't win another. Wait, I might have that wrong. It doesn't matter. It's the White Sox, you know.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's not like we're talking Cubs. I don't know why I'm like why I'm taking the Cubs.
Yeah, it's the backup team in Chicago.
I'm just trying to be really polarizing, specifically in Chicago. I mean, you already said you didn't like the Bear. Fuck, we're already like behind the 8 ball there. In that market.
It is not a great
I feel
show.
like you did an 8 ball before you walked in here.
That's
I'm into the guy, the mobster Rothschild, brought to you by Rain Energy.
Rothstein. Jeez,
You want to make a Scott freak out? Rain Energy.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm fired up on history.
Hell
is
yeah.
the thing.
Yeah.
No, it's because last episode he was so uninvolved with baseball that this episode
true.
Trying to make
he's
up
so
for it.
involved with baseball.
I was going through an
This
emotional
episode has just been
crisis.
Jimmy and I staring at each other like, he's really going.
I like it. Keep going, Scott.
Yeah, don't stop. Don't stop.
I watched a YouTube video. There's some YouTube footage of like these games actually now, and they're like been restored. Like they're pretty good. And the top comment on one was, "It's strange to note that everyone in the stands is now dead." It is strange to note that.
That is strange.
That's a great fact, though. That is a great
They're
fact.
all
It
dead.
is true.
There could have been a baby.
No, probably dead by now.
Who brought a baby?
I bet.
Some
I bet there's
92-year-old
one
walking
alive
around.
person left still. You know, I like to think
That
there's
baby also on the
one
Titanic.
not dead person.
Ghost of Comiskey.
Arnold Rothstein too. He was cool because they modeled like a bunch of. There was Nathan Detroit and Guys and Dolls was partly based on him. The Damon Runyon, deal. That's me being world like cultured. Damon Runyon deal.
I thought that immediately.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Meyer
that's super cultured.
Wolfsheim from The Great Gatsby, also based on Arnold Rothstein.
Oh, okay.
And Arnold Rothstein also, you can tell he was cool as shit because he got shot to death at a meet. Well, he didn't die right away. He got shot at a meeting and died a couple days later. And when they asked him, when they were like trying to get him to say who did it, he was like, "Hey, you stick to your trade and I'll stick to mine," which doesn't make a lot of sense.
That was the cop trying to get him to tell, like, who shot you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh, I didn't. I
And that
fucking
was-
zoned out.
And then,
And that was his response. Like,
and then he said,
You stick to your
yeah.
trade, I'll stick to mine.
And then he said, "Me mudda."
it's like, you're not doing great at it, bro. You are full of holes. Yeah.
Me mudda did it. He said
He
'Cause
almost
was
deserves like an episode of his own because he was like the founder of sports gambling. And
He's a super. Yeah,
he's a very interesting character.
He's a major player in the show Boardwalk Empire.
And they act like sports gambling like it's so bad. And now you got Kevin Hart doing commercials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the biggest thing in town.
Well,
I mean, there is a difference between
Everybody's
gambling
laying
on
down
sports
parlays.
and game fixing. You know?
yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends on how good you are at it.
If you want to be real good at sports gambling,
Yeah.
you fix some games.
That is the
Fix some
other thing.
games.
Is like it's not known. Like they're the gangsters who are involved in this. They were all very much like, oh, we've done it before. Like when they were recruiting the White Sox. So it's not really known if it was just part of their pitch, but they're like, yeah, it for sure could have happened before. Actually, there was another gambling scandal that I had never heard of. It's been buried successfully by baseball, but it involved Ty Cobb and Tris Speaker. They basically like threw Ty Cobb threw a series to like the Indians, I think it was. They wanted someone to like finish third, so it wasn't like a championship or anything, but they agreed to drop this series, and I think Ty Cobb made a bunch of money off of it, and then they got in trouble, but like obviously they were like
Just act like it didn't happen.
yeah, they were like we're not gonna talk about this a lot.
So baseball is fun. Old-timey names are fun. The Black Sox lost the World Series on purpose, and that's fun.
Steroids was fun cheating because you're like, this guy's cranking it.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what I mean? Like
Steroid era in baseball was so funny.
The 1998 home run derby.
looking
Oh my
back
God,
on
it was
it,
art.
What
They're
happened to
all
Sammy Sosa?
so fucking giant. He turned white.
Yeah,
Have you
he's
seen
white.
him?
Yeah, I did like a Michael Jackson.
He did
kind of
he
thing.
Michael Jackson himself.
Oh,
a little
man.
alarming, but you know, hey,
It's
hope he's-
very alarming whenever
hope
you
he's-
see him. If
hope
you
he's
remember,
happy.
yeah. I mean, clearly he's not. You know, it's
Yeah,
like,
I wonder, did he, like, I know he got, it looks like alopecia just overtook him. You know?
okay.
But I think there was, like, skin treatments to make it not look bad.
And who was the white guy that played
No,
for the
you
Cardinals?
mean vitiligo, right?
Vitiligo, what's alopecia?
Alopecia is
where you
the one that
lose
makes
your
your
hair.
hair fall out.
Yeah.
Well, he was bald, too, so.
Yeah.
Okay, vitiligo. Yeah, he was overtaken by vitiligo.
Because
okay.
Uncle Ruckus always says he has re-vitiligo. Though it makes him darker than he is. Do you know Uncle Ruckus? Do you know the
No.
Boondocks?
Oh, I mean, I'm familiar with the that it's a cartoon show, but
Yeah.
I've never watched
Uncle
it.
Ruckus,
Kind of
problematic
racist of you,
character.
but
I was
Yeah,
telling,
it's
I was
fucked up,
telling Jimmy, I don't remember the last time I started anything, a movie or a TV show, and watched it from start to front without falling asleep. But you know, I've heard of the Boondocks.
We also have, in that talk, Lawrence has a TV next to a mattress. So the laying position of consuming television, you're going to fall asleep.
You can't have me lay down and go consume.
You can't get in your bed and then say, now start this riveting docu-series.
Yeah,
You're
like,
going out.
I can't tell you how many times I've woken up and gone like, "Oh man, that movie sucked." And I was like, I watched like 30 minutes
Our
of it.
truck driver does that all the time, where he's seen the first 6 minutes of thousands of movies, and he just falls asleep every time. And he's just like, well.
I don't want to start it over.
And he always makes a big to-do about what movie to pick.
Oh,
And you're just
same.
like, you're going to be asleep in 8 minutes. Why
Yeah.
do you care? But he does.
And then I get upset if I like wake up towards the end of it and I'm like, oh, well, now I fucked up the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like I spoiled myself.
Yeah. But so
yeah,
you,
know how that goes.
Lawrence filmed his special last week. In
Yeah.
podcast time. It'll be like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
When do you have like a timeline for when it's coming out?
The night was great. Jimmy
Yeah.
hosted. Scott came out. We had a fantastic. There were so many like little hurdles to get through.
Oh yeah.
Like the club, like they like the film crew the night before was like texting me like, "Hey, what time can we get there?" So I text the manager. He's like, "You guys can be here at 4:00." And I told them that, and they're like, "Perfect," because we got a lot of stuff set up
Yeah.
before the taping, and then they start calling me at like 6, and I'm taking a nap. That's how I prepare. And they call me at 6, and they're like, "Hey, we still can't get in the door. Nobody's letting us in." I called the club. Somebody who's like doesn't speak English keeps answering and hanging up on me.
Yeah.
So I just get up and I drive up there. They didn't let us into the building until 7. So we had to hold everybody in the lobby.
Yeah, until like 8:20 it was.
Yeah. So they could get everything set up. So yeah, even the staff is outside. You know, we couldn't get in. And but then, you know, like you showed up and then Carrie showed up and Shiva showed up and we're all in the green room just making fun of each other. And like that helped me, I think, like relax a lot.
Yeah.
And the taping went great, man. I think it's going to come out. I think we're aiming for January. We still have to shoot the B-roll. But last night, I got to hear it for the first time. Like he sent me the unmixed audio of it. Because we got to figure out. I did like an hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So we got to trim it. We got to trim it down. And so now we're figuring. But like I'm happy with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I think it went really well. An hour and 6 minutes is too long.
Yeah.
But we don't want to leave anything out.
Yeah.
And I left a lot
it's
out.
also nice for like filming purposes to have stuff to cut.
Yeah.
Like you can just have the tightest fucking 52 ever.
Well, that was my idea. Was
crowd for sure.
Way overshoot and then trim it. If we trim it down to 45, it should just be this. No bullshit in it. But we got to figure out what we're cutting out.
Yeah.
So
that'll be fun.
We had a great audience. Thank you to anybody who came out.
Yeah, the crowd was great.
One of my favorite parts was you're doing a joke. It's like, what do you call it? Like when you're going down on a girl and a guy yelled out, "Giving head."
Well, and we got him. That's on audio forever.
Yeah.
I was thinking that. I was like, that's going to be funny. That's going to be funny when they're watching it back. Giving head.
Just have to watch it 80 times.
I was so thankful that I had so many comics and people I know tell me they were going to come out. But like, how comedy is with the light in your eyes. Like for the most part, everybody I could see was strangers.
Yeah.
And I was super thankful for that. Like I could hear the comics laughing in the back of the room.
Yeah.
But like all I could see, I was performing for strangers.
Shout out Pete, Big Pete.
Oh, was he a big laugher in the back?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes me happy, man.
He has a goofy ass laugh for such a giant man.
Yeah.
And I think he was right by the mixing table too. So
perfect.
You can probably hear him pretty good on there.
So yeah, I listened to it for the first time last night as the Rangers were winning, and it was nice, man. It's like I'm excited for it to come out, and hopefully I can sell some tickets. This podcast, everything should, synergy, right? Isn't that what they say?
Synergy.
That's what I always say.
I need a dark room with a bunch of white men in it that's shady, smoking cigars, going like,
the fix is in.
the fix is in. We're gonna make this happen.
You're going on the road, kid.
We need. I'm hopeful. Fucking something good happens.
Yeah, it's a long road. Takes time.
I might have an in with the ghost of Charles Comiskey.
I'll pray to anybody at this point.
He's been eating dog food and barking at mailmen all day.
Yeah.
Scott, what do you got going on?
Rambunctious guy.
What do you got going on? Do you remember you being snappy last episode?
No, I remember y'all interpreting everything I said as snappiness. That's what I remember. And I watched it back on tape, and that bears out. Oh, no, I have nothing going on. Go Rangers, that's all
Rangers,
going on.
Game 5 tonight.
Yeah.
I will say this. I thought it was funny. Like I did the taping on Thursday. And like I love the Arun. Arun sent me a clip, and it was nice. Like there was like a couple people to the far left that stood up and clapped at the end, and I was like, oh, that felt good, like a good ending. And then the next, I was like, oh, I'm so excited to like start working on new stuff. And the next day, Randy hits me up and goes, hey, can you feature tonight? And in my head, I was like, well, not that quick. I can't. So I go up there, and I thought I was gonna do like 5 minutes of last night, and then just go into my new stuff. Like I going into the new stuff, and I literally like it's a good crowd, like not a great crowd, but like I heard a lady 3 times go, "This is not good," to the point that I could not. And by the third one, you have to acknowledge like what's going on.
Man, thank you for being so vocal about this.
Yeah. And you talk about like the highs and the lows of this business.
Just like, hey, watch my special though.
Yeah. Standing ovation, everything's amazing next night. This is not good.
This is not good.
3 times she said it. 3 times
That's
she said
tough having to like. I've never had to do it where like I'll have like do a feature set and like 10 minutes of it will be new.
Yeah.
But I've never just been like, I'm doing a new 30 tonight after one night.
Well, no, and I even told the audience, I told them at one point, because I mean, like you get consistent enough where like you can like, it's not like you're bombing, but like it's to us, it's like it's not going good.
Yeah.
And I even told the audience, I was like, my plan was to come up here and just do 7 minutes of my best material, light you guys on fire so that then I could go off and do all the new stuff. And boy, did y'all fuck that up. Y'all fucked that up real bad.
Who was headlining?
Oh man, really nice guy. And then we went and watched the Rangers, and I can't. Alex something. He's from Nashville. Really funny, really good guy.
Okay.
But I'm terrible at names.
Shout out Alex, maybe from Nashville.
Definitely from Nashville. Definitely Alex was heading to San Antonio the next day.
Nice.
And Cheyenne was there. So he had a beefcake with me.
I watched this murder documentary, the Murdaugh murders. Have you seen that shit?
Oh,
Dude, that's wild.
That rich guy, yeah.
His name is Alex, but they pronounce it Alec, and it's Murdaugh, and they pronounce it Murdog.
Yeah, they say their names
these
wrong.
guys.
Yeah.
They're like horrible people and murderers
Kill
and
the rest
everything.
of them.
But the name thing, I couldn't get over the name thing. Pronounce your goddamn names right, wealthy people of South Carolina.
Maybe your kids would act better.
That's right. You know, if they knew what sound letters make.
We're going
All
dark
right?
on our next murder series. They have the India ones. Have you seen those? Like Murder in a Courtroom and the Butcher of Delhi.
No.
Yeah,
I have
there's,
not seen it.
There's such a dense population of people there, and like a level of poverty we don't understand. Where their serial killers get to killing. Oh boy, do they kill harder than we kill?
Oh really?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, we got to step it up.
Like there's like a
Brazil have a lot too.
Yeah, I think
it's like us, Brazil, and I didn't know about India, but it's always cool to have like a newcomer on the scene, you know?
Yeah, the hot new thing in the murder documentary
sort of the
world.
Max Verstappen of the murder documentary world. They're coming in, making a name.
Who's a comedian? He has a great bit about going on like the England tour for like Jack the Ripper. At the end of it,
Kinane.
Yeah, Kinane. He's like,
fucking funny.
Wait, he killed 4? Like, what's like 4 people? And he's like, just be like, look, I don't want to. Like, this is not the time to get real
weird time
patriotic. We're like 4 people. You know what I mean? Like, that's a Sunday.
We had people comment.
We've got people killing 4 people right now.
They just go to jail. We don't tell stories about them.
Yeah, that bit is so good, dude.
So,
man,
somebody on cobblestone. I'm trapping. Like it's a great, fantastic bit. But yeah,
and it was kind of spread out too. It wasn't like a bad weekend. We're like, oh shit, he's out here. It was like this shouldn't be that alarming to everybody. Or we're just jaded and too many murders happen now. But
multiple people got shot at the state fair this year, and I took my kid the next weekend because I have free tickets.
What are the odds?
Yeah, right.
What are the odds?
It's like getting on a flight after one crashes.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
it's not going down.
It's never happened back to back. Well, one time. One time it did.
That was extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, a little different.
Good 9/11 joke. Let's see. I got that. I'm headlining that show in Tyler this weekend, so that'd be fun. Me and Maverick over at the understudy. Oh yeah, this comes out Monday, so I will have been in Tyler 2 days in the past.
It's a further drive than I want it to be.
It's like 85, 90 minutes. It's not bad. Yeah, there's a fly I've been ignoring.
It's not bad, but it's longer than I care for. They hit me up to do their New Year's Eve. Like sometimes if I've been drinking, like they hit me up and ask me to like headline their New Year's Eve show, like which I'm happy to do. Then immediately I was like, after I woke up the next day, I was like, I don't know if I want to be in Tyler, Texas alone
on New Year's
Eve. Like that's gonna be just like another night of me being like, don't kill yourself.
Bring your own opener and like carpool out there.
Yeah,
that's what I always do when I go out there.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Would you like a solution to your problem? Would you like a solution?
Anymore.
No.
I'm just gonna get a hotel room and just
I'm just gonna Eeyore it.
This is not. I should not be alone on holidays. Like I don't have the psyche.
Yeah. I don't know. Just don't drink. Drive up.
I mean, it's New Year's Eve. I'm going to drink. I'm going to get a room, and I'm going to contemplate dark things.
0 for 2 on reasonable solutions to this problem.
I don't
Let's see if we can just in the moment.
You think I made it this far on reasonable solutions?
No, I know that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm going to do what comes natural.
So I'm headlining November 4th. Lawrence is killing himself on January 1st in Tyler, Texas.
Yeah, let's hope not. But I did. I love that room. It's a great room.
So I'm doing the understudy. Are you doing Rose City?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've headlined Rose City like at the beginning of the year, but this is a new one called the Understudy. I think it's like an improv place out there that does.
Does the same guy run it?
Jason's the one who hit me up for it, but I think it's a different people. So
I like Rose City a lot, but you can tell those people are living in the back.
Oh, 100%. It's kind of odd. And like the green room is clearly their home.
Yeah, exactly.
And you go like take a pregame shit and there's just like you're in a family's bathroom that's not doing well.
I picked up like in the green room, like they do have like a cool little space for you to exist there behind the curtain, and like they have those guitars. Like I picked one up, and the lady's like, "Do not touch those. That's my brother's." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't." At the time, I did not know I was in your house, and I'm sincerely apologetic about it. But like I didn't know. I had no idea. You know, I thought like it was. I thought this was for us. You know, I didn't.
Like,
I had no idea.
Please don't touch my dead brother's guitar.
Yeah, I did not know I was in your fucking living room.
I thought I was in the green green room to the comedy club, not your personal space.
Yeah,
That's
your
on
apartment.
me. That's on me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a fun club.
It's a fun room.
When you're not disturbing the ghost of dead family.
Yeah, it's a fun room. That's so comedy though, where it's like, oh no, I mean it's a great room, but I mean the green room is somebody's house. You know what I mean? And they get upset if you touch
And there's
anything.
usually a dog back there.
Yeah, and I love dogs, but yeah, I touched that guitar. Boy,
I do love like DIY stuff. It's like I keep poking around with the idea of like start like a small room.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool.
I mean, if you have like a built-in, like I like, and like we were talking about, like a small room, like something the size of this living room is like the perfect space for like an indie comedy
but
show.
you need to be able to sell booze somehow.
Yeah,
Otherwise, the money's terrible.
yeah, and the show tends to like not be as
Rowdy.
yeah.
It's a
Like,
fine line.
Shout out to Cowabunga over there in Plano.
Yeah, Plano McKinney.
That show, I've been stopping in over there.
Also, did y'all watch Cowabunga? Ralph's special
Yeah,
on Netflix?
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't
but
watched
shout
it yet
out
either.
Ralph.
Shout out Ralph.
I'm bad at calendars. I pulled it up last week, and I was like, I asked my roommate, I was like, hey, can I use your Netflix in the living room? And I thought I was going to like watch the first, I just wanted to see like the first 10 minutes just to see how it was shot before I was doing mine. And like, they just showed the trailer.
Yeah, it came out yesterday.
Yeah, well, I know that now.
Yeah.
So I got to just watch the trailer, but the trailer looked great. We're all fucking super stoked for Ralph. You're killing it. Keep doing amazing things, man.
Don't do the New Year's Eve show in Tyler.
With Texas, because you will kill yourself.
You will kill yourself.
You will kill yourself. And it is somebody's house. You know, you are going to do it in somebody else's house. Like, what a weird closer.
All right.
3, 2, 1, plop. You know,
All right, well, we're going to end on that.
We miss you, Charles.
me too.
We miss you, Charles Comiskey.
Yeah, we do. We really do miss you.
I don't miss him because his ghost is still around.
All right.
Yeah.
I forgot the bit.